When the night gets quiet enough for you to finally hear your own thoughts, there is a moment where your chest tightens and you ask yourself why the heart still hurts even though the relationship is long gone. You try to convince your mind that the story is over, that the final chapter has already been written, and yet your body reacts as if everything ended only yesterday. Take a slow breath with me. Let the air move into the spaces that feel knotted, trapped, confused. Feel the inhale stretch gently through your ribs and let the exhale soften your shoulders. You are entering a space where nothing has to make sense immediately. You don't have to pretend that time has resolved everything. You don't have to force clarity. You just have to breathe and let the truth come forward piece by piece. The heart holds on to things long after the mind decides it's time to move on, because heartbreak is not a decision, it's a process. The emotional body moves slower than logic, slower than memory, slower than the expectations you place on yourself. You can tell yourself 100 times that the relationship is over, that you shouldn't miss them, that everything happens for a reason, and yet your chest still pulses with the echo of someone who once felt like home. This is not a failure. This is not a sign of weakness. This is what it means to be human. When you love someone deeply, your nervous system adapts to their presence. Their voice becomes familiar. Their rhythm becomes part of yours. Their absence becomes a shock the body can't immediately interpret. Even if months pass, the heart may still respond to their memory because the emotional imprint of connection does not disappear just because the relationship did. You are grieving not only the person, but the version of your life that existed when they were in it. You are grieving routines, tiny rituals, the comfort of being understood in a way you didn't have to explain. These losses don't end when the relationship ends. They linger in the quiet moments where you feel the space next to you and remember that it used to be filled by someone who made your world feel less overwhelming. It's normal to feel the ache return at night. Darkness amplifies everything you tried to ignore during the day. Stillness exposes the memories you pushed down. The brain begins replaying what happened, what didn't happen, what you wish you could change, what you wish you could forget. This is not regression. This is emotional processing. Let your breath steady your thoughts. Let this moment be a safe container where you stop punishing yourself for still feeling something. Healing doesn't move in straight lines. It moves in circles, spirals, waves. And each wave brings you closer to the version of yourself that is forming beneath the grief. Sometimes the pain is not about the person at all. Sometimes it is about the part of yourself that came alive when you were with them, the version of you that felt hopeful, seen, desired, understood. Losing that can feel like losing a piece of your identity. But breathe with me. Your identity is not lost. It is shifting. It is reorganizing around new experiences that have not yet arrived. The heart hurts because it is expanding, not collapsing. It is learning to make room for a future that doesn't look like the one you imagined. That process is uncomfortable, slow, unpredictable, but it is happening. Even now, even if you can't see the progress, even if you feel stuck in the same emotion night after night, your heart is recalibrating itself. Tonight, let yourself acknowledge the weight without trying to force it away. Let the pain be a signal, not a prison. A signal that you loved deeply, that you experienced something meaningful, that your emotional capacity is larger than you realized. Take another breath. Let it slow the racing thoughts. Let it tell your body you are not in danger. The relationship is over, but you are not. You are still moving, still growing, still capable of becoming someone stronger and softer at the same time. Your heart hurts because it hasn't yet rewritten the narrative. It hasn't yet integrated the loss into your sense of self. This is temporary. This is a season, not a sentence. And one day, without realizing when it happened, you will wake up and feel the ache as something distant, something quieter, something that no longer consumes every thought. For now, let the night hold what you don't have the energy to hold alone. Let this moment be the beginning of your release. Let yourself feel without drowning. Let yourself remember without collapsing. Let yourself heal without rushing. You are allowed to hurt even after the ending. You are allowed to soften even through the pain. You are allowed to be exactly where you are. The heart will catch up to the truth in its own time. And when it does, you will breathe differently, deeper, freer, more like someone who survived something heavy and learned how to rise from it one breath at a time. As you stay here in the quiet, let your breath settle into something softer, something more honest, something that doesn't force you to be stronger than you feel right now. The heart carries old stories in layers, like sediment on the bottom of a river. Even when the surface looks calm, the deeper currents still hold what has not yet been understood. That is why the pain returns in moments you didn't expect, why a memory resurfaces without warning, why your body reacts even when your mind insists you should be over it. You are not starting from zero every time the ache appears. You are revisiting the same emotional place with more awareness, more resilience, more perspective than before. Healing looks like repetition, but each repetition is different. You are not stuck. You are processing. When a relationship ends, your mind makes a decision, but your heart needs evidence. It needs time to learn that the warmth it depended on is no longer there. It needs to adjust its rhythm, its expectations, its emotional blueprint. This is why endings hurt long after the last goodbye. The mind understands the logic. The heart understands the loss. And the body carries both. Breathe again, deeper this time. You survived the absence. Now you are learning how to live beyond it. Heartbreak is not a wound that closes quickly. It's a transformation that unfolds slowly, often in the dark, often in silence, often in moments where you feel the most alone. But feeling alone doesn't mean you are lost. It means you are in the part of the journey where everything inside you is shifting, readjusting, reorganizing your emotional architecture. You may miss the person, but you may also miss who you were with them. You may miss the comfort, the predictability, the sense of belonging that came from being chosen. These feelings are human. They do not make you weak. They make you someone who loved vulnerably. That vulnerability is strength, even if it feels like breaking. Let yourself sink a little deeper into the stillness. Let the silence wrap around the edges of your thoughts. Let your breath tell your body that tonight, there is nothing to fight, nothing to prove, nothing to fix. This moment is simply for being, for existing through the ache, for allowing the pain to speak without letting it consume you. Sometimes the heart hurts not because of what happened, but because of what never happened. The future you imagine still lives inside you, and releasing it can feel like mourning something intangible. A dream, a possibility, a version of your life that never got the chance to exist. This kind of grief is invisible to others, but it is real, and it deserves compassion. Let your breath become a soft anchor as you face that truth. You are mourning an entire emotional landscape, not just a person. and landscapes take time to change. Feel the heaviness in your chest, but do not fear it. Heaviness means you are in the presence of something meaningful. The heart does not ache for things that were empty. It aches for things that mattered. And you are strong enough to feel the weight without losing yourself to it. Slowly, gently, let your attention drift to the space around your heart. Imagine it expanding, even if only by a fraction. Imagine the tightness loosening. Imagine your body giving itself permission to release what no longer belongs to you. Healing does not come from forcing the pain away. Healing comes from giving the pain a place to go. Tonight, let that place be your breath. With each inhale, invite softness. With each exhale, release a small part of the burden. Not all of it, just enough for now. Just enough to keep going. You are allowed to remember without reopening the wound. You are allowed to feel without drowning. You are allowed to move forward even if part of you still looks back. Moving forward is not betrayal. It is acceptance. Acceptance that what once supported you is no longer here. Acceptance that your heart is capable of shaping itself around absence. Acceptance that you are bigger than the story that ended. There will come a night when the ache feels more like a fading echo than a sharp reminder. There will come a morning when your first thought is not about what you lost, but about what you can still create. There will come a moment when you realize that you no longer long for the past because the present has begun to fill you in ways you didn't expect. You won't have to force it. It will happen naturally, quietly, like a dawn that arrives without permission. For now, let your heart rest. Let it breathe. Let it unfold at its own pace. You are not chasing healing. You are receiving it. One breath at a time. One night at a time. One small release at a time. Your heart still hurts because it is still alive. Because it still cares. Because its capacity to love did not disappear when the relationship did. This is not a flaw. This is your humanity. And your humanity is not something to escape. It is something to honor. You are healing even when the pain feels sharp. You are growing even when you feel stuck. You are finding yourself even as you lose pieces of the past. And when this chapter finally softens, and you will look back and see that every night like this was part of your becoming. You were not breaking. You were unfolding. Slowly, quietly, powerfully. Becoming someone who can carry the memory without carrying the wound. Becoming someone who can love again without fear. Becoming someone who chooses themselves first. The heart still hurts because it is rewriting its story. And that story is leading you somewhere new. Somewhere softer. Somewhere true. Rest now. Let the night hold you. Let your breath bring you back to yourself.